This is Ed Rigsbee. How are you today? Hey, I was sitting out here doing quite a bit of work. You can see right over here. I'll let you look at this is my quasi desk right here. See my pile of stuff. But anyway, I've been going over a bunch of notes from the social media marketing world and other things. And I thought, well, what a great time would it be to have a cigar. So I went into my cigar selection and I picked up a La Aurora Diamond. This is the 1903 edition, which was a gift from Joe Curcio. And the fascinating thing about the La Aurora, they have different colored cases they come in. And as far as what it's called, the Diamond is this one. It's a broadleaf, a Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro. So it's going to have a really nice spice. It's the tobacco is long leaf, and it was aged. You ready for this? The tobacco was aged in aged rum casks. So it'll have a little bit of just a little bit of a sweetness to it. So I pre-cut it with the V cutter here. Now, you know, here's my my fabulous V cutter that I use all the time. Now, not everybody likes to do a V cut on their double perfecto cigars or torpedo cigars. This one is what is called a, let me get it back here. This one's called a double perfecto. Supposedly, now this cigar is from the Dominican Republic. Supposedly, at least the Dominican Republic claims that they developed the perfecto, and that was in 1903. That's why this is a 1903 edition. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but there's quite a number of cigars that I've had over time that are this shape, double perfecto, and it's very nice because what happens when you light it, it gives you a certain kind of a flavor profile because the end there is very narrow, and then as you smoke it through the thicker part, it changes the profile again, and then when you get to the very end, what happens is any of the cigars that have this torpedo or pointed back, it forces the smoke around and through a more narrow area, which again changes the flavor profile. As far as this wrapper, it's the Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro. It's kind of oily, a little bit of grain, veins, I mean, and it's produced pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now, also just share with you what I chose to drink with us today. Because of the fact that this Maduro is going to be a little bit stronger, it's going to be a little bit spicy, I wanted something to make sure that there was enough oomph to complement it. So Trader Joe's has Basil Hayden's Dark Rye. Their Dark Rye, it says, Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey blended with Canadian whiskey and port. It's a special release. I got this at Trader Joe's. I told a friend of mine, he went and bought a bottle at Trader Joe's, but then he said he found the same bottle at Total Wine and More for less. This was $39.95 at TJ's, and I think he said that he found his second bottle at Total Wine and More for around $35. Whatever you pay for it, it's an amazing whiskey. Look at the color. I don't know if you can see this, but just get it out in the sun. Just a beautiful color, just gorgeous. And you can catch the notes of the rye, the grain that it was distilled from. And the Canadian whiskey tends to be just a teeny bit sweeter. And then with it being aged with a little bit of port, that again changes the flavor profile and makes it a little sweeter. So let's see what we got here. This is my famous, as some of my friends like to call it, blowtorch or welding torch. It can be very much. Because I'm using one hand to told the camera my goal was not to burn my nose, sunglasses, or eyebrows with that thing. So, I'm just readjusting how I'm holding the camera. Sorry about putting my hand in front of the camera thingamabob. Anyway, so here's the getting it going. Now, most cigars got a really nice taste from the beginning. A lot of times a cigar, when you smoke it, you have to smoke it about an inch, sometimes half an inch down, to really get the flavor profile that you're going to be enjoying through the cigar. And for some people that creates a problem because they light a cigar and they don't necessarily like the taste. Well, you know, depending on what you use to light your cigar with, it's going to change the taste. If you use butane, it's going to have very little taste, hopefully. If you use a traditional lighter, it's going to have that petroleum taste. If you do it the Cuban style, and you take the cedar sticks or the cedar in between the layers of the cigar boxes, and you break it and make cedar sticks and like that, that's probably the best because there's really no chemical there. But I just go for the expediency and use my welding torch. So as one puffs on this, the Dominican tobacco is very noticeable. The spice of the Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro wrapper is noticeable. And I'm not sure if I have a sophisticated enough palate to taste the hint of rum from the tobacco aging in aged rum barrels. You know, maybe that'll be somebody else that can do that, not me. So, it's very nice. You know, I've had some La Auroras that I've been not bowled over with. As a matter of fact, when I was doing the Amsterdam cigar peg in, oh gosh, what was that, 2012, La Aurora in Europe gave us some that they were okay. But this one, this special gift from Joe, it's a very nice cigar. Now, the other interesting thing that when you get the various, any cigar that's not just a cylinder shape, they tend to be generically called figurados. Oh, I guess I could put my hat up a little bit and you can kind of see my, let's see, should I do that? Oh, geez, I can do that. Take my sunglasses off, but I'm going to be squinting a little bit. Take my hat off too. How's that? There you go. Now you can see my bald head, have a little reflection. You see my eyes a little bit, even though I'm squinting. So here's the interesting thing. With any of the cigars that are not cylindrical, they're usually called figurados. And it's a, you know, they're a different kind of a shape. The double perfecto, sometimes called perfecto or double perfecto, is an interesting shape, and it's a difficult shape to roll. So generally, the less experienced cigar rollers are not going to be rolling these. It's only going to be the more experienced. So one of the interesting things is when you buy cigars, sometimes if you get a cigar that is a figurado from the same exact line as, say, a Corona or a double Corona or a Gordo or a Churchill or a Robusto, those are all straight cylindrical. The only one that wouldn't be would be a torpedo. But you're going to notice a difference in taste for a couple reasons. One, because the shape, the way the cigar's rolled, it's going to change the flavor profile. And number two, quite frankly, because of the fact that the person that rolled this probably knows better what they're doing. The challenge sometimes, if a cigar is rolled too loose, it just, you take a little draw and it's like, you know, you're sucking from a wind tunnel. And if it's too tight, you take a little draw and you think you're sucking from a straw that's been closed on the end. And so ideally what you're looking for in a draw for the cigar is something that when you draw on it gently, you get smoke. And you're not getting an overabundance but also you're not having to suck on this thing like you're trying to suck the last drop out of a bottle or something. So, that becomes a very important point. So I'm going to sit this down. Now that I've got a little bit of the tobacco taste, now I'm going to go back to this, this rye. Mm. And the cool thing with the Basil Hayden rye, it's not overpowering. It's amazingly smooth. So if you like, my wife is from Austria, and they have a term there called Beidelmehl. It's like, you know, that's a weird thing to me. So some whiskey's a little bit raspy, and you know, you kind of, ugh. But this one, this Basil Hayden dark rye, not rye, but dark rye. This one is amazingly smooth. Now, some people say, well, if it's too smooth, then it, you know, doesn't have enough taste. No, but this one's wonderful. It's got enough punch to it. It's got good color, and it can stand up with a cigar of this much also texture, flavor, and boldness. So, a lot of times, you know, the lighter the wrapper, a Connecticut wrapper, very light, will denote a lighter cigar, but not always, because sometimes the cigar companies, you know, fool you, and they'll do light cigars with a dark wrapper, or sometimes they'll do heavier cigars with a light wrapper. So it's not always valid, but it's kind of a rule of thumb that works most of the time. So I don't know if I showed you the label on this, but La Aurora, and again, this is the diamond. The diamond is the one that comes in the black tube. And the diamond is the Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro. So I would say highly recommend this cigar. Many thanks to Joe for bringing it to me, giving it to me. And if you have the opportunity to smoke one of these, I'm pretty sure you'll be happy. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now, if you're a beginning smoker, no, don't smoke this one. But for most people that have been smoking for a while, I think that you really enjoy it. And also, I'd really suggest getting over to a TJ's and getting some Basil Hayden dark rye. This is just really a sweet rye. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And whether you buy it at TJ's for 40 bucks a bottle or somewhere else for a little bit less, it's a sweet deal because it tastes, for instance, I really like Macallan 12-year, and Macallan 12-year, like even at Costco, there's like 60 bucks. So, you know, to be able to get this one for 40, it's quite a good deal. So, hey, do me a favor. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. You'll get cigar reviews. You'll get business tips. You'll get, I do a lot of videos for association executives. So you never know what kind of video you get. So subscribe to my channel. Have a great day. And if I can only figure out where this button is to say adios, I'm going to do that too. Okay, so can't even find the adios button. Maybe it's out here. So one of these? No, that isn't any good. What's this one here? That's pretty funny. I can't even figure out how to use this. Maybe I just push this button up here. It's got an X. I don't know. It's only the second time I've done a YouTube live, so I'm still figuring it out. There we go.